Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to business, we need the fuel that will drive it, and that's finance. We're glad and want to appreciate the kind sponsorship of Euro Exim Bank. Can we please put our hands together for Euro Exim Bank? The East African community, as we have known, boasts of over 400 million people. And if you find yourself in that space, you are in good company and your business will thrive. At this point, we want to hear from our sponsor, Euro Exim Bank, and we have a man who's been 20 years at SWIFT, bringing together 15 countries onto the network. He has managed funds and is a specialist in the area. He's done that for 3 years. He joined EMC, now owned by Dell. He joined Euro Exim Bank in 2015 and still going. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Dr. Graham Bright, JP, to speak to us. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. As you'll notice, I'm not from Africa. However, my arrangement or my love of Africa started in 1985 when I joined SWIFT. And at that time, the countries of Africa were not connected on the SWIFT network. And there were always problems in moving funds around, getting relationships with other countries, and making trade actually work. Things have changed since then. And say I put 15 countries onto the SWIFT network at that time, and very, very instrumental in making sure that trade could take place. Very, very key. It doesn't matter about having trades taking place cross-border thousands of miles away. Sometimes the most effective trade is with your neighbor and making sure you understand the products, the services, the regulation, the compliance to make sure goods and services actually move. So let me start. So my name's Dr. Graham Bright from Euro Exim Bank, and it is a privilege and a real pleasure to be here at this meeting this morning. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, a great pleasure and honor to be able to address you this morning. We'll come back to some of the slides involved in this one, but a number of key things about Africa, and there was a slide which is going to show this. Population, 1.4 billion people for the continent. Astounding. 54 countries. Wonderful news. Terrible news, 54 countries, each one with its own regulation, customs, currency in many cases. So we have the disparity because your neighbor does not talk the same language, because of course we know how many languages there are, something like 4,500 across the Africa continent. So dialects, culture, everything is changeable. It covers 20% of the world's whole surface. 65% of all arable land is in Africa. Remarkable. So the opportunity for agriculture to be able to supply the whole world, the breadbasket of the world. Incredible. 10% of all the internal water on the planet is in Africa. How is that being exploited? How can that work? And from our point of view, from an international bank, yes, we're headquartered in St. Lucia in the Caribbean, but the Caribbean region has exactly the same issues as Africa. Here we have, in the Caribbean region, more than 20 different jurisdictions. We're reliant there on importing goods. And the key problem here is that whilst there is $25 trillion of goods moving and flowing around the whole world, there is a shortfall, a trade gap of $2.5 trillion. So there were some of the issues there. Why? Because emerging markets are actually held back through lack of liquidity, cost of foreign exchange, bureaucracy, trade complexity of dealing with many different markets, landlocked countries as well. Oh, we're working. Okay. That's me. Let's show the video.
Euro Exim Bank serves an increasing demand in international trade for financial instruments with our array of services. Let's dive in on our powerful instruments and how they fuel global trade. Letters of credit, the bedrock of international trade. With our expertise, we ensure secure and efficient transactions, giving you peace of mind while expanding your business horizons. Standby letters of credit, a safety net for your contractual obligations. We provide reliable guarantees, assuring your partners of your commitment and financial stability. Proof of funds, the key to seizing new opportunities. With Euro Exim Bank, you can demonstrate your financial capacity, opening doors to lucrative ventures and partnerships. Bank guarantees, the shield that protects your interests. Trust in our solid guarantees, shielding you from potential risks and giving you the confidence to grow your business. Advance payment guarantees. Secure your upfront payments with our dependable guarantees. Trust Euro Exim Bank to secure your upfront payments, providing peace of mind and reliability for your transactions. Speak to our experts and discover the benefits of our specialized services. Partner with Euro Exim Bank to drive tailored strategies that propel your business to new heights.
Okay, you're done. Video's gone. I'd be given 5 more minutes, but I'd need a lot more time if I could have your attention with our stand and our staffs who are going to be outside. Very, very specifically, this is what we're saying, but our sales force who are actually supporting all of the operations that we have, these are the numbers of independent salespeople around the globe. So it's a huge contact surface, enabling companies to have access to our financial solutions to enable import and export at a price which is right, economically correct and efficient. Let's move on. We've already heard that there are fantastic raw materials and resources available. The world's largest supply of gold, diamonds, etc. We also heard that there are minerals there which are being extracted. One of the problems is Africa is not getting economic benefit from the goods which are being extracted from the ground. Yes, you're extracting them, but they're being processed somewhere else. They're then being put into batteries. They're then being put into mobile phones. So where is the actual economic benefit? Another country is taking that on your behalf. So we need to look at processing taking place at the point of extraction. Really key there. Next thing, we know that there's a lot of shipping which is going around Africa, taking goods different places, especially because of the problems with the Red Sea and the Houthi problem there. So everything's moving around Africa, that's terrific. It's not moving into Africa and out of Africa. So there's the other issue which is there. From the point of view of the problems here, we talked a little bit about lack of liquidity, lack of capital, great deal of bureaucracy across all of the different parts of the trade process. I will skip through these. These slides will be available to you afterwards as well. Okay. UK exports. Now this is what this is all about. How are we doing from a UK export point of view? That's what we do. We export a huge amount of different goods and services. And the amount there was £469 billion. The problem, we export to Africa 2%. Less than 2% of everything from the UK to Africa. Pitiful. Absolutely pitiful. And then when we look at where we're getting UK imports from, where's the UK importing from? It's not Africa as a main body. It's everywhere else, especially the EU. And down on there, and that little yellow section at the bottom, is the amount we've got there. We must do better. Absolutely. How can we do that? How can we provide these things? The questions I was asked to hit for you, 3 specific questions. So first of all, how do we integrate new Fintech to make sure things can work more effectively? And here are the 3 areas here. Leveraging blockchain, it's a technology. It's not going to solve your problems. It is an enabling technology to make sure that the documents are immutable, transferable. You can trust them when they're moving around. You don't buy blockchain. You don't go to a store and say, I'll have some blockchain, please. Some people might like to try that because there are plenty of people willing to sell you a concept to make things happen. There is investment involved. The next one, the digital platform. This is much more serious. How you actually digitize your documents, digitalize your process take the paper out, have it trusted. There are new Melita laws, for the example, in the UK, which will make sure that your documents are accepted and title and ownership can change with that as well. Finally, on that one, AI. Wonderful. In fact, we've put together a lot of different videos very quickly, and I just wonder if if my face is going to be on a video, but it's actually cloned by someone else. Is it actually me? So we have some security issues as well with AI. How can the advancements strengthen these partnerships between the UK and East Africa? Well, certainly the way to do that is facilitating it by building reputation and trust. Can you trust the instruments we've actually put in place? Yes, you can. Can you trust the organisation behind it? Can you trust the company that sits behind it as well? Cross-border collaboration. We are an island, but we are not an island on our own. We depend on partners, business partners, technologists, to make sure what we are trading is fully backed by the instruments and the finance to make that happen. And we need to lower transaction costs as well. There is a view that Africa in the past has been charged too much to do business. We need to ensure that we have the right processes in place, the right registration, regulation, to make sure that things can be done at the right price, right time, right place across the whole of that trade platform. Almost there, folks, because my time is almost up. Number 3, developments for the region and cross-border transactions. Well, certainly it's all about trust. In the past, reputation was what it was all about. We've often come across companies who say, I want to do business in Africa, I don't trust the companies which are there. I don't trust the individuals. I don't trust the system. I can't make sure that I'm putting my money into that and making a direct investment. Things are changing. Perception is changing. The reality is that Africa wants to do business. And finally, what do we offer in this particular scheme? What we're offering is a way of using appropriate collateral, making sure that you're not tying up your working capital, making sure that business can flow for those small companies who are involved actually in the day-to-day running and those who truly change the economy. That's me. I'm always promoting myself on magazines. We've got some magazines outside. We're constantly writing and thought leaders regarding how trade actually works. Because of our contact surface across the globe as well, what it means to do business not only in Africa, but in India, South America. So for everybody here, namaste. Yeah. Jambo. Okay. Right. So bonjour. Je parle français aussi. So it's really important to understand the different economies and how we all work. So we have the largest sales team on the planet. 200 countries covered, the people are there, and a huge representation in Africa generally. In final stage, let me just say the following. We want to build a very, very collaborative, strong contact surface. New relationships, new networks. Working together to create that community that cherishes cultural heritage, but also takes proactive steps with a legacy of ethical trading, financial stable momentum, and stewardship, so that not only us, but for the generations that come, have a solid way of doing business. Now, we're standing at the crossroads at the moment of regulatory, environmental, social, governance issues. There are wars going on across Africa. There are 35 domestic conflicts at the moment, and that's not counting the international ones. We need to find a way to obviously look at financial inclusion, reducing poverty, and make sure we underpin the values of the African people as well, resilience and their community. Henry Ford said the following: coming together is a beginning. Staying together is progress. Working together is success. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. If I've taken too long, I apologise. We look forward to that really positive impact going forward. Our stand is outside, our representatives are here as well. Please talk to us and let's network and make this a real success, not just for talk, but for action. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Thank you so much. I like the way you talked about the digital platforms. I will be looking for a one-on-one on you. I have a made in Uganda digital platform that will blockchain based that I will sell to you later. So I'll be the first one-on-one with you. We will do a revenue share on the services. All right, so thank you so much for that.
Bank, and what we do is we provide the services for importers and exporters, but we don't do the financing. That's where you come in to actually make sure that the payments can actually go to the right place at the right time. So they have the means and the intent to pay.
Exactly.
And if you've got like a wallet system that sits behind it.
So local wallets in 50 plus currencies.
Okay.
So it allows it to receive the payments as if it was a local payment, receive it within a day, 2 days, make the payments out to all of the suppliers around the world. It just makes their business quicker and more, more compliant.
I suppose it also gets around the problem of not having to move into dollars all the time. You can go now national currency to national currency.
And in the platform as well, depending on what you want to do, you can convert, hold. It just gives you flexibility to move your money around the way you want to do it. So
Okay. So there we go. Yeah, it's a good partnership. So that's very good indeed.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's there's some discussion to be had. Definitely. Yeah.
Good way forward. Thank you.
So Avni is a trainee solicitor that works in the exchange legal services. So we work quite closely together, especially with financial cases and such. So we are a registered legal company as well. We're solicited by SRA as well. Our company solicitor is Mr. Veerapin. He's also managing partner. Okay. So what we do, of course, in terms of any legal practice and such, we do anything, more services under the legal branches we do there in ELS. There's a specializer trade finance, so that's where the connection lies between us. And of course, in terms any trade finance transaction, we always promote ELS as well.
I'll write your name. I don't want to write it wrong.
That's fine.
I don't want to put Singh there.
Especially getting to brand exposure and such as that. And I think it is a massive opportunity we can look into. And I think I'll bring it up with the team as well. And hopefully in the future we can work well together as well.
It's so you have jurisdiction in a range of countries then.
So as for the legal firm goes,